It's 7 o'clock, so I'd like to call this meeting of the Mission City Council to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Martha, will you please call roll?
Davis.
Here.
Laura.
Here.
Inman.
Here.
Crane.
Here.
Quinn.
Here.
Rothrock. Here. Schlossmacher.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. Before we get started this evening, I would like to welcome everybody to our meeting. There will be opportunities at various times during this meeting to make public comment to the council. If your public comment relates to an item on the agenda, please wait till that agenda item is presented before us before making your comment. If your item is not related to an agenda item, then there is an appropriate place, item number 5 on our agenda, for you to make that comment, and I will ask at that time. Public hearing, we do not have any public hearing this evening, so we'll move on to item number 2. Item number 2, we do have a special presentation this evening, and it deals with the Elder Abuse Awareness Day proclamation. Tonight, we are recognizing the World Elder Abuse Awareness Day in Mission. Mission is a community for all ages, and it is important that we recognize not only the many contributions made by our seniors, but also raise awareness of and take action against the abuse, neglect, exploitation of seniors may face. Preventing abuse allows everyone to continue to live as independently as possible and contribute to the life and vibrancy of Mission. I'd like to present this proclamation to Emily Randall, and I encourage everyone in Mission to honor and celebrate all of our senior residents.
You have to take a selfie.
All right, item number 3, issuance of notes and bonds. We do not have any of those this evening, so we are moving to item 4, our consent agenda. Our consent agenda does have 6 items on it this evening. Our council committees met on June 5th, and we fully discussed each of these items. The committee agreed that some of these items listed on our consent agenda are routine enough to be considered under a single motion. Several other items considered by the committees will be presented under committee reports later in tonight's agenda. If a council member or member of the public would like an item removed from the consent agenda, they may request that at this time. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the City Council adopt the consent agenda as printed, items 4A through 4F. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call for the vote.
Davis.
Aye.
Schlossmacher.
Aye.
Laura.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Inman.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Rothrock.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
All right, that concludes item number 4. Moving on to item 5. This is the public comment section. If there's an opportunity from anyone of the member of the public to come forward and address the council. Does anybody wish to address the council?
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Finnerty, and I live in Overland Park on 70th and Glenwood. I have 2 comments. First of all, I'd like to thank your city street maintenance department in the wintertime. I always know after a snowstorm, I'm going to be able to get to Hy-Vee, and the pavement is going to be clear all the way down Lamar, across Shine Mission Parkway. The other comment is, living at 70th and Glenwood, which is near Lamar, I use Mohawk Park. I use it 5 times a day in the summer. I'm retired and I go walking around. And I've been using that park since 1994. And I've read your master improvement plan, and I am mystified that since I've been using it in 1994, there's no sign that says Mohawk Park. I just don't understand that, but it's not a question for debate. The other comment regarding the master plan, which had recommendations. It didn't recommend any restroom facility or water fountain. And I'd just like to point out to the council that there was a school there, Mohawk School, before it became a park. So there would be water and sewage available underneath should your council decide to add that to your, take a look at that. That's it.
All right, thank you.
Mayor, may I?
Yes, you may.
Well, thank you, and those comments are very appropriate, but I can tell you that the PRT is actually going to, in the next month and a half, start considering design options for entrance signage for all of our existing parks, including Mohawk Park. So we hope before the end of the year to be able to bring some recommended designs to the council. The funding is in the CIP for 2019, and so we should be able to get a Mohawk Park sign up. And although it has not yet been approved by the council, the PRT has also included a recommendation to construct restrooms and a drinking fountain. That would include a drinking fountain in Mohawk Park, and that is incorporated in the 5-year CIP for Parks and Recreation for 2020. So as you know, we'll be having a work session on the 26th to discuss that, and then ultimately will be considered as part of your 2020 budget approval. So you go home and tell everybody, see how effective I am. I make this suggestion and look what happens.
Overall Park City Council would just throw me out.
All right, anybody else have a comment they would like to make? Seeing none, we'll move on to the agenda. Item 6 is actions taken. We do not have any items from our Planning Commission this evening, so we are moving on to item 7, which is committee reports. First up, could we have a report from the Finance and Administration Committee? Solid floor, please.
Yes, the Finance and Administration Committee met on June 5th and considered 7 items, including approval of the meeting minutes. 3 of those items were considered on tonight's consent agenda, and we have 2 additional items for consideration. The general fund budget and supplemental requests were also discussed at the meeting as part of the 2020 budget process. Our first item for consideration is 7A, Project Ordinance, Rock Creek Channel Improvement Project. This ordinance is a legally required step in the consideration of debt financing for the Rock Creek Channel Improvement Project, which will include design and construction of retaining walls on both sides of the creek from just east of Knoll to Roland Drive. The project will also include parking lot and common area improvements for the Roland Court townhomes to repair damage caused by a subsidence in 2017. The Roland Court townhomes portion of the project costs will be reimbursed through annual assessments coming from their recently established Community Improvement District. This ordinance is just one in a series of steps legally required to advance the design and construction of these channel improvements. Mayor, I move the City Council adopt an ordinance of the City of Mission, Kansas, authorizing and providing for the construction of stormwater drainage improvements in the city and authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds of the city to pay the costs thereof.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, I would call for the vote.
Laura,
Aye.
Quinn,
Aye.
Inman,
Aye.
Crane,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Schlosmacher,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Rothrock. Motion carries.
All right, our second item from Finance and Administration is item 7B, a set sale resolution for the Rock Creek Channel Improvement Project. This resolution, prepared by the city's bond council, signals our intent to take the general obligation bonds, Series 2019A, to the market on July 19, 2019. This proposed issue includes financing to repair and maintain the Rock Creek Channel from just east of Knoll to Roland Drive, as well as repairs and restoration of the parking and common areas at Roland Court Townhomes. The portion of the project cost for the Roland Court Townhomes will be repaid to the city through the recently established CID. The city's portion of the debt service on these bonds is anticipated to be paid from special assessments, gateway, stormwater utility, and drainage district revenues. The city will be requesting a new rating on these bonds from Standard & Poor's, and in order to obtain the lowest interest costs, they will be put out for competitive bids. This resolution does not commit the city to the financing. It is used to authorize staff, our financial advisor, and bond counsel to proceed with preparing the offering documents. Mayor, I move the City Council adopt a resolution authorizing the offering for sale of general obligation bonds, Series 2019A of the City of Mission, Kansas.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please call for the vote.
Inman,
Aye.
Flora,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Crane,
Aye.
Quinn,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Schlossmacher.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That is the end of our business from the Finance Administration Committee.
All right, thank you. Next up, we'll have Councilmember Thomas on Community Development Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. The Community Development Committee also met on June 5th and discussed 5 items. These included approval of the committee minutes and discussion of the 50th and Dearborn Storm Sewer repairs. 2 items were considered on tonight's consent agenda, and there is 1 more item for consideration. That item is the task order for the design of the Rock Creek Channel improvements. This proposed task order is for the design of the Rock Creek Channel improvements, including both Roland Court Townhomes parking area subsidence and the erosion issues throughout the channel. By undertaking the entire channel project at this time, it allows for all existing issues to be addressed and ensures that the improvements are coordinated and constructed in a timely and consistent manner. The total project costs are estimated at $5.2 million, with the city's portion estimated at $4,854,928, and the Roland Court Townhomes portion at $400,809. GBA has prepared a task order in an amount not to exceed $694,500, which covers survey, design, project meetings, bidding, and the construction contract and construction period services. Design is anticipated to take 90 to 120 days, and funds for this design are available in the Stormwater Utility Fund. Mayor, I move the City Council approve the task order with George Butler Associates, GBA, for the design of the Rock Creek Channel improvements and repairs to the parking and common areas of the Roland Court Townhomes in an amount not to exceed $694,500 to be paid from the Stormwater Utility Fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please call for the vote.
Flora,
Aye.
Inman,
Aye.
Crane,
Aye.
Quinn,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Schlossmacher,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mayor, that completes my report.
Thank you. Moving on to item 8, unfinished business. We do not have any unfinished business tonight. So we're on to item number 9, which is new business. And we do have 1 item under new business, acceptance of easements, Broadmoor project. Ms. Smith, would you please provide us information on this item?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As you know, Emily and Brent have been working on right-of-way and easement acquisition on the Broadmoor project between Martway and Johnson Drive. They have, at your May meeting, approved several of those. We have 2 additional acquisitions and easements and right-of-way that have been acquired for projects tracts 2 and 4. That leaves 1 project tract outstanding. We're still working with that property owner, but it is outside of the most immediate project limits, so we do anticipate that the project construction will start early in July.
All right, I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the City Council authorize the purchase of right-of-way and easements for the Broadmoor Rehabilitation Project for tracts 2 and 4 in a total amount not to exceed $31,420.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call for the vote.
Davis,
Aye.
Quinn,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Inman,
Aye.
Flora,
Aye.
Crane,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Schlossmacher.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, moving on to item 10, comments from the City Council. Do we have any members? It's in there.
Yes, I was at the Human Services Summit last week, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Laura. She was one of the panelists, and she did an awesome job. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. And also on the 19th of
July, we will be having our first Suburbs Coalition meeting with the Economic Development Pilot Program with Mark. I'd love all you all to attend. And that begins at 8 and it will conclude at 3 o'clock and it will be at the Gladstone Community Center.
And please let Martha know if you are interested in attending, and we'll do a group RSVP and get our places reserved, so.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyone else have anything?
Just one thing, that light up there keeps flickering, it's bugging the heck out of me.
There's a work order already in place.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Yeah.
any other comments? Yes, Ms. Thomas.
We have our Ward 1 community meeting. This microphone isn't even on. We have our Ward 1 community meeting on July 24th at 6:30 at the bar. So mark your calendars.
We have a Ward 3 meeting, and we are right now considering possibly moving the meeting to the marketplace, where we will, it's the same time that we meet for our board meeting, and we will be looking for volunteers, but we're still working, because I think another ward may already have that date selected. So we'll work among ourselves to have that put together.
Okay.
We have an upcoming Ward 2 meeting on the 27th, which is next Thursday, at the market, no less, because we already came up with that idea. We're looking for some people from the ward to come and show up and help sponsor the market, also to just do a little bit of cleanup and stuff at the end of the night. So.
I think your ward is coming to ours.
No, it's Ward 1.
I mean,
All right, any other council comments?
just want to commend Emily on a great job on the Mission Market. It is going fantastically, and there's so many people, and when they're walking away from it toward the end, they're all commenting very positively about what the city represents and how well it looks, and the diversity of vendors, and it's just really, really done well. Good job, Emily.
Not having hit 96 degrees
Yeah.
yet.
Hold the line on that weather and we'll be good to go.
All right, anything else? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 11, Mayor's Report. I would report that a committee today spent the day interviewing applicants for the Public Works Director position. Councilmember Inman, myself, Laura Smith, and Brian were all there interviewing. We did 5 today, and we're doing 3 tomorrow. And
6 today.
6
Don't sell yourself
6
short.
today, and 3 tomorrow. And
Well, I
one-
think 2 tomorrow, right?
I don't know, 6 to 2.
It's a long day.
It's 8
We're all
I think it's 8
awake.
people. It was a long day. One of the applicants thought maybe that flickering light was to kind of in the interview process.
Chinese water torture.
Yeah. All right, that's all I have. City Administrator's Report.
I don't think I have anything this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, we do have a need for an executive session. I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the City Council recess to executive session due to the discussion of personnel matters of non-elected personnel, exception KSA 75-4319B1. Also attending the meeting will be City Attorney Dave Barton. The open meeting will resume in council chambers at 7:33.
Second.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We were just getting rolling. Apparently, everybody else left.
They did.
Ah.
They did. Yeah, I thought that was his address. I thought he was going to complain about that four.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let the record reflect, we're back in session, and there being no further business, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.